The internet used to feel like a library. Now, it often feels like a factory. You open your feed, you scroll, and everything starts to look the same. A familiar face,
A familiar voice. A familiar headline. A familiar outrage.
but when you look closer, the details are wrong. The fingers don't make sense.
Quotes don't exist. The expert has no past. The story feels hollow.
This is what people started calling AI slop. And in 2025, Merriam-Webster crowned slop its word of the year, defining it as digital content of low quality, produced in quantity by artificial intelligence. That's a polite way to say the web is being flooded with cheap, synthetic media.
Made fast, posted faster, and monetized at scale. Today, in Arcane Knowledge,
We're going to explain what AI slop is, why it's exploding,
what it does to your brain and your trust.
And how to survive it without abandoning the internet. First, what slop really means. Slop is not AI content in general. AI can be used carefully, thoughtfully, even beautifully.
Slop is what happens when the goal is not meaning, but volume. It is content optimized for one thing, being produced and distributed at the lowest possible cost. A single person can generate hundreds of images, dozens of scripts, and a week of videos in an afternoon, then schedule them to post while they sleep.
And once you can manufacture content like that, the internet stops being a conversation. It becomes an economy of churn. So why is slop everywhere right now? Because it fits perfectly into the incentives of the modern web. Most platforms reward engagement, not accuracy, not originality, not craft, engagement. If a post gets clicked, shared, watched, or argued about, the algorithm reads it as valuable, and it shows it to more people.
Slop is engineered to be good enough to trigger a reaction.
It doesn't need to be great. It only needs to be fast, cheap, and frequent. Now add a second ingredient, automation. Bots can repost, remix, translate, and re-upload. Accounts can be spun up in bulk. A single template can generate 1,000 variations.
Different faces, different voices, different titles, all testing what performs. And now you have the perfect machine.
generative models create infinite supply, algorithms allocate attention, monetization rewards whoever floods the system first.
This is why it feels like the internet is filling up with noise.
But the deeper problem is not aesthetic. It's epistemic.
Slop attacks the way we know what's real. Because trust online is built from small signals. Consistency, history, context, reputation, and friction. Human-made content is expensive. It takes time. It leaves fingerprints. It has a creator with a trail.
Slop erases those signals. It creates content that looks plausible, has no rootedness. And once plausibility becomes cheap, truth becomes expensive. That changes how your brain behaves. Your brain is a prediction machine. It tries to compress the world into patterns so it can move quickly. When you see something familiar, your brain relaxes. It stops checking. It assumes. Slop exploits this.
It wraps itself in familiar packaging, so you accept it in a hurry.
And when the details don't quite fit, your brain has two options: slow down and verify. Or keep scrolling and treat everything as maybe. Most days, we choose maybe, because verification costs energy. And Slop is designed to be endless. This is how Slop creates exhaustion.
Not because each piece is shocking, but because the volume forces your attention.
To operate in low power mode, you stop asking, "Is this true?" And you start asking,
Does this feel true enough to react? And that is a dangerous shift.
Because a world that feels true is easy to manipulate.
Now, you may have heard a phrase that sounds like a conspiracy: the dead internet theory.
The cure idea is simple. If enough online content and interaction is generated by bots, the internet starts to feel less like a place for humans.
And more like a system talking to itself. You don't have to believe the most extreme version of this theory
to notice the direction on the web is drifting. When comment sections fill with generic replies,
when review pages read like the same paragraph rewritten, when images look perfect but empty, the human layer gets thinner, and Slop accelerates that thinning.
It also creates a problem for AI itself, because models learn from data. If the web is increasingly filled with synthetic data,
Future models will train on outputs of older models, like a photocopy of a photocopy. Details blur, edges soften. Reality gets replaced by the average of itself. So AI Slop doesn't just pollute your feed.
it can pollute the training ground of the next generation of tools.
And it changes the economics of creators. If you are a human making careful work, you can't compete with infinite supply. Not on volume. Not on speed.
The only way to win is to be unmistakably human. To have a voice, a point of view, a track record, and an audience that trusts you.
Which brings us to the real question. How do you survive a slop flood? Not by becoming paranoid, and not by treating everything as fake.
You survive by upgrading your trust habits. Here is a simple protocol.
Step 1. Slow the first second. Slop wins by speed. It wants you to react before you think. So when something grabs you, pause. One breath.
That tiny delay is a firewall. Step 2. Check the source, not the story.
The story can be fabricated. The source is harder to fake consistently. Who posted this? Do they have a history? Do they cite originals? Do they correct mistakes? Or do they only farm reactions? Step 3. Look for friction. Real humans have limits.
They post less perfectly.
They show process. They have constraints. Slop is too smooth, too frequent, too uniform.
If an account uploads 10 viral videos a day, if it's with a new face each time, that's not creativity. That's a pipeline.
Step 4. Follow humans, not outputs. Choose a small number of creators and outlets you trust.
And let them be your map. In a slop world, curation becomes a superpower.
Step 5. Reward quality with your attention. Algorithms learn from what you watch, share, and save. If you want less slop, you have to stop feeding it. Mute farms. Block repeat offenders.
Avoid hate sharing for awareness, because the system cannot tell.
Whether you shared something because you love it or because you hate it, it only sees distribution. Now, a hopeful ending. Slop is everywhere because it's cheap. But cheap things lose value when everyone has them. As the web floods, authenticity becomes rare.
And rare things become precious. The future internet may split in two.
A vast ocean of synthetic noise and smaller islands of trusted human space.
Your job is to find the islands, and, when you can, build one. If this episode helped you see the slop flood more clearly, tap like.
And if you want more calm explanations of the strange world we're building,
Subscribe to Arcane Knowledge. Until next time.